Confidence. It's the invisible currency of success. Whether you're walking into a job interview, giving a presentation, or meeting someone for the first time, the way others perceive your confidence can determine whether doors open or slam shut. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Confidence isn't just something you feel, it's something you can engineer. Scientists have spent decades studying the exact signals that make someone appear confident, and the results are fascinating. Your body language, your voice, even the way you shake hands sends powerful messages that can either boost or tank how others see you. Today, we're diving into 5 scientifically proven techniques that will make you appear more confident, even if you're nervous as hell on the inside. These aren't motivational platitudes, these are backed by peer-reviewed research from universities like Harvard, Stanford, and McGill, and the best part? You can start using them immediately. Let's get into it. Hack 1. The Power Pose. Rewire your brain in 2 minutes. Here's a wild fact. You can literally change your brain chemistry by changing your posture. In 2010, Harvard researcher Amy Cuddy and her colleagues conducted a groundbreaking study on what they called power posing. They had participants stand in high-power poses. Think standing tall with hands on hips like a superhero, or sitting back with arms behind the head and feet on a desk for just 2 minutes. The control group stood in low-power poses, like hunched shoulders and crossed arms. What happened next shocked the research world. The people who held high-power poses experienced measurable hormonal changes. Their testosterone levels, the hormone associated with confidence and dominance, increased, while their cortisol levels, the stress hormone, decreased. Even more importantly, they reported feeling significantly more confident and performed better in subsequent high-pressure interviews. Now, there's been some debate about whether the hormone changes replicate in every study, but here's what the research consistently shows. Adopting an expansive, open posture makes you feel more confident, and that feeling translates into how you present yourself to others. Robert Kerner from Martin Luther University even found that power posing works for children, improving their self-confidence in school settings. The science behind this is called embodied cognition, the idea that your body and mind operate on a two-way street. When you stand like a confident person, your brain starts to believe you are a confident person. Before any high-stakes situation, a meeting, a date, an interview, find a private space and hold a power pose for 2 minutes. Stand tall, take up space, and let your body convince your brain that you've got this. Hack 2. Master the eye contact balance. The 50-70th rule. Eye contact is tricky, too little and you look shifty. Or insecure, too much and you come across as aggressive or creepy. So what's the sweet spot? Research from the University of Chicago and multiple studies compiled in the journal Attention, Perception, and Psychophysics have found that confident people follow what I call the 50-70 rule. Maintain eye contact for about 50% of the time while you're speaking and 70% of the time while you're listening. Why does this work? When you make eye contact, you're signaling engagement, trustworthiness, and competence. A comprehensive review published in PMC found that individuals making eye contact were consistently evaluated more favorably than those who didn't. People perceived them as more likable, more intelligent, and more credible. But here's the fascinating part. You don't even need to look exactly at someone's eyes. Research from Edith Cowan University found that simply looking somewhere around the face or head is perceived as making eye contact. So if looking directly into someone's pupils makes you uncomfortable, aim for the bridge of their nose or their eyebrows. Most people won't notice the difference. There's even evidence that eye contact affects how persuasive you are, though interestingly, it depends on context. In friendly conversations, eye contact builds connection, but if you're trying to convince a skeptic, too much eye contact can actually backfire because it triggers defensiveness. Practice the 50-70th rule. When speaking, maintain eye contact for about half the time. Look away when thinking or transitioning thoughts. When listening, up it to 70% to show you're engaged. And if direct eye contact makes you anxious, start by practicing in a mirror daily. Hack 3. Lower your voice pitch. The leadership frequency. Your voice might be betraying your confidence without you even realizing it. Multiple studies have shown that voice pitch dramatically affects how others perceive your confidence and leadership ability. Research published in Proceedings of the Royal Society found that both Men and women consistently select leaders with lower-pitched voices. In experiments where researchers digitally manipulated candidate voices, the lower-pitched versions were chosen 67-69 of the time. Why? Lower pitch is unconsciously associated with dominance, strength, and authority. A study in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that professionals actually lower their voice pitch when giving expert advice compared to casual conversation. But here's what's really interesting. When you're nervous, your voice naturally goes higher. Public speaking anxiety literally pushes your voice into a higher register, which then makes you sound less confident, creating a vicious cycle. Research from McGill University's Neuropragmatics Lab identified the specific vocal qualities of confidence: lower pitch, reduced loudness, faster speech rate, and flatter intonation. Confident voices were also characterized by more restricted changes in loudness, meaning they didn't have those nervous pitch swings that signal uncertainty. Now you can radically change your natural voice pitch, but you can control it within a range. The key is to speak from your diaphragm, not your throat. Take deeper breaths, slow down slightly, and aim for the lower end of your natural vocal range. Before important conversations, do vocal warm-ups. Hum at a low pitch, then practice speaking at that same level. Record yourself and listen back. You'll probably find you sound more authoritative than you feel. Slow, steady speech from your chest voice will always sound more confident than high-pitched talking from your throat. Hack 4. The firm handshake formula: 3 seconds of trust. In 2000, psychologists at the University of Alabama published a landmark study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that changed how we understand handshakes. They evaluated 112 participants and found something remarkable. Your handshake predicts how others will judge your entire personality. People with firm handshakes were perceived as more extroverted, emotionally stable, and open to new experiences. This held true for both men and women, though the researchers found that women with strong handshakes made particularly positive impressions because they exceeded expectations. So what makes a perfect handshake? The researchers identified 8 key characteristics. It all boils down to the 3-second formula: full palm contact. Don't just grab fingers. Make complete hand-to-hand contact. Firm pressure. Match the other person's grip strength, but on the side of slightly firmer. Not bone-crushing, just confident. 2-3 seconds duration. Brief enough to not be awkward, long enough to register. Maintain eye contact. This is crucial. The handshake plus eye contact combo creates maximum impact. Warm, dry hands. If you have sweaty palms, subtly dry them before key interactions. Research even shows that the handshake can override other first impressions. A study on brand trust found that when a cereal mascot made eye contact through packaging, trust ratings increased by 16%. Now imagine that effect multiplied when you're making physical contact. Interestingly, grip strength is also correlated with brain health. A UK study of nearly 500,000 people found that stronger handshakes were associated with better cognitive performance and reaction times, so you're not just signaling confidence. You're demonstrating mental sharpness. Practice your handshake with friends and ask for honest feedback. The goal is firm but not aggressive, warm but not sweaty, and always paired with eye contact and a genuine smile. Hack 5. Control your paralanguage, the confidence code in your speech. Here's something most people never think about. It's not just what you say that matters, it's how you say it. Scientists call these vocal cues paralanguage, and they're incredibly powerful. Research from McGill University examined exactly how confidence is encoded. In speech, they found that confident speakers share specific vocal characteristics: faster speech rate. Confident people speak quicker but not rushed. Studies consistently show that rapid speech is perceived as more confident. Brown and colleagues found a linear relationship. As speech rate increased, so did confidence ratings. Falling intonation is also key. End your sentences with a downward inflection. Rising intonation called upspeak makes everything sound like a question and signals uncertainty. Fewer filler words, like, and you know, are tiny signals of hesitation. While some research shows fillers can help listeners, excessive use undermines confidence. Steady volume. Confident voices don't have dramatic loudness swings. they maintain relatively consistent volume throughout. The research on speech rate is particularly fascinating. Faster speech correlates with higher perceived confidence, but there's a sweet spot. Speak too slowly and you sound uncertain. Speak too fast and you sound anxious. The goal is slightly faster than conversational pace. Intonation matters too. Falling intonation at the end of statements significantly increased how confident speakers were perceived. When you end sentences with upward inflection, making statements sound like questions, you immediately undercut your authority. These vocal cues can actually bias how persuasive you are. Under high elaboration conditions, vocal confidence biases how favorably they interpret arguments. Under low elaboration conditions, vocal confidence works as a direct shortcut to persuasion. Record yourself having a conversation or giving a presentation. Listen for filler words, upspeak, and inconsistent pacing. Then practice speaking with slightly faster pace, downward inflections, and minimal fillers. It feels weird at first, but it works. Conclusion. Here's the beautiful part. These techniques don't just make you appear confident, they actually make you feel more confident. That two-way street between body and mind means that when you act confident, your brain starts to believe it. Confidence isn't about faking it. It's about understanding the signals that humans have evolved to recognize as markers of capability, trustworthiness, and authority, and then intentionally using those signals to your advantage. Start with one technique. Maybe it's the power pose before your next meeting. Maybe it's being more mindful of eye contact. Pick one, practice it for a week, and watch what happens. Because in a world where perception often matters as much as reality, knowing how to project confidence isn't manipulation, it's survival. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, drop a comment telling me which technique you're going to try first. And if you want more science-backed strategies for success, hit that subscribe button. Now go out there and own it.